Testing. Yo, what's up, you guys? This is KO. What's up, you guys? This is KO. It's another episode of RTG, and I just wanted to comment on a video reaction by another YouTuber named The Poor Man's Podcast. Love this guy. Love his content. Go follow his channel. But he was reacting to another video called "Why Are 63% of Young Men Single?" I'm gonna also link that person's video so you can go watch her content, because she does have good faith arguments, but I think she misses the mark on some of the descriptions of the red pill, in my opinion, because like she hits several points succinctly as she's going through her reasons for why 63% of men are single, and I agree with a lot of them. But I think that when she comes to the negative aspects of the red pill, they always do this thing where they go, the red pill is toxic because it's making men see all women as a problem, or all women as toxic, or all women as evil or something. And it's like, nah, I don't think so. I think they're doing a good job of that themselves, okay? Go watch some of these podcasts, hear what the women are saying, hear the arguments that they make, and you understand that the men aren't making them make these conclusions, making them come to these conclusions. They are just, and there could be a little selection bias on the guests that are on the podcast, and a lot of them are young. Like the whatever podcast, a lot of the girls are like college students, and they're like basically girls. They're young, so you got to cut them a little slack on what they believe at that age. But at the same time, it's like I've seen podcasts where older women come on there and they have the same exact mindset regarding dating and everything. So it's not just the young women who think these things, but it's like I think the majority of women have been brainwashed by social media and by the world in general. Even before social media, everybody was lying to women trying to get what they want from them. So it don't take all social media did was amplify that. So without further ado,
Do you think it's important for guys to go seek relationships in real life with other dudes? No Diddy, of course. But yeah, I do think it's important. I think that's an important aspect. I absolutely agree with what she's saying here.
Tandem with the narratives that are in these ecosystems. The rhetoric of the red pill and MGTOW spaces often emphasize the risks of modern dating. They talk about divorce, financial loss, and the emotional pain. Again, all of which are valid. But this
these are all true. Yeah, those are all true. Yeah.
leads men to develop toxic and avoidant attitudes towards relationships, which I have to guess the majority of men actually want, as they become more and more focused on self-preservation and resentment towards women.
I would challenge that statement that she just made, that the majority of men want a relationship. I don't believe that. Because if they did want a relationship, they would have one. I don't know. I don't think it's that hard. I think that we're not motivated. A lot of us aren't motivated to go and seek out and do what it takes to get a woman, because of what we've seen older generations go through with women. So it's like, why would I jeopardize my me time, my time to chase whatever dream, or go have sex with multiple women, because women are giving it up for free, basically. So it's like, I don't believe the whole all women are going after the top 10%. I think they'll say that, but they're still sleeping with regular dudes out here, okay? They can't all be sleeping with the rich guys. So it's like, guys are getting play. They're just not deciding to marry these women and create families with them, create, households
than they do on building genuine connections and cultivating some semblance of intimacy. And this isn't just my opinion.
And also, when you're doing the self-help stuff, you have to like still involve yourself socially. You can't socially isolate even when it comes to women. You only get better at being around women and talking to women if you talk to women. It's a very specific set of skills that you learn from only doing it.
And it's like, to piggyback on what he's saying, I think it's more of a charisma thing. It's like, it's not just women. Like let's say you're trying to get good at talking to women. You can't just go out there and think, I'm going to go out there and be good at talking to women. You have to go talk to everyone. Get used to speaking in public. Get used to, you know, having a conversation. And then that way, when you do meet a woman who's pretty or whatever, it's not going to be out of, you know, your wheelhouse to just know how to keep a conversation flowing and throw in some jokes or some, you know, some little funny observations or whatever, you know. Oh, look at your shoes, whatever, you know, just being cordial and being light and being, you know, fun to be around as a person is going to help you immensely in dating.
And if you're like, oh, I gotta self-help and be perfect before I can talk to women, you're essentially pedestaling them. You're saying that you have to be perfect to even communicate with a woman, and that's gay.
And the data supports this stuff. Men who engage heavily in these types of communities are more likely to report dissatisfaction with their dating lives and the lowest desire to pursue any type of relationship. And
or a lot of men who are already experiencing that low satisfaction level just tend to aggregate in that area in the red pill space. Okay, they find they bowl you on over because it's like misery loves company type shit. Like we've all had bad experiences with these modern women, so let's come here and have a space to actually talk about it. You know, yes, there's toxicity in the red pill community, but there's toxicity in every community. Okay, every community. Christians, everybody. You could go to any group of people and find a subset of that group that's toxic. And then you can highlight that and then act like that's the whole group, which is what, you know, some people's tactics are.
honestly, I can't blame them with the narratives and communication that go on within these communities. There's lack of trust, there's lack of desire, and you paint women as the evil demon that you must avoid and who is responsible for all of your problems. Now, this is where it gets really important that I don't paint a picture with a broad brush. There are incredibly toxic women, just as there are incredibly toxic men.
She got to throw the caveats in there. Now, like she's rebuking the red pill. She's basically saying y'all going too far. Y'all going too far. Okay, yes, there's toxic women, but it's not all of us. And it's like, I've heard dudes on podcasts say that it's like, I don't even know who the regular girls are because they hanging out with the hoes. They hanging out with the thoughts. And it's like, even the mainstream music, it's always been that way, though. I can't even say. I was going to say it's over-sexualized, but in my opinion, I was born in 91. It's always been sexualized. And it just, since I was born, since I can even remember music, it's been sexualized.
But if we try to put everybody under one umbrella, everybody's going to end up alone, depressed, and probably unhealthy. And men in particular, because they're the ones in these communities who tend to internalize these messages and narratives and take them on as complete truth for every woman they ever meet in their entire fucking lives, will struggle to open up to anybody.
I think what she's saying is true, and that it could end up flavoring your opinions of women before you even find out who they are as a person. But I think that a lot of what's going on with the red pill is that what men see in the world, they go to YouTube and they see a guy talking about what they see, okay? Women's negative behavior. And they connect the two and they go, oh, okay, well, this guy must know something about dating because he's describing what I'm seeing out in the world, which is their negative behavior, you know? Because you can't become this raging feminist and be misandrous to men, and then when men call it out, you go, you're being negative to women. You're fostering hate towards women. It's like, no. I'm just describing the behaviors I'm seeing.
potential partner because they fear betrayal or manipulation. And inevitably, this will create a self-fulfilling prophecy where men expect...
Not necessarily, because the divorce rates are what they are. And they're initiated primarily by women. So it's like, this isn't just...
negative outcomes in relationships, leading to behaviors that undermine the relationship itself. And this will inevitably reinforce that there's something wrong with women when really it's the subconscious triggers that manifest behaviors of mistrust.
Before he says it, because he's going to say what I really came to this video for was his reaction to what she's saying. He's about to give it. But listen, if I was single right now, and I was watching these podcasts, and I was just hearing what women say on these podcasts, and it is like they are cultivating like the craziest women so they can get the most views. But it's like, I've heard women say crazy things, and then I've seen women who I thought were level-headed agree with those women's crazy thing that they're saying. And I think it's partly the sisterhood phenomena that happens when women get in a group of 2 or more women. They start agreeing, even though it could be they could be totally different, opposite types of people, and then they're just gonna start agreeing, like, oh yeah, But it's like they rush to each other's defense when they feel like one is being attacked, even if it's just her ideas are being attacked, But I've heard straight up pathological things from women on these podcasts, but who knows what the real dating is like out there, because I don't think that they're all pathological, they're all crazy. I think that women have a tendency to be a little manic, to have a negative emotions because of their biology, because they have to raise children and they have to be vigilant and always keeping up with kids. They always have to be on the ball, or else someone's life could be at stake, So I think that's why God made them that way. Or, if you're secular, that's why nature made them that way.
Betrayal, insecurity, abandonment that lead men to...
No, there's definitely something wrong with women currently. That's just the truth. I think that social media has allowed women to live in a delusion. I think the safeness of society has allowed women to live in a delusion that's very special in this day and age. Women don't have any issues or problems, so they forget how necessary men are to sustain the infrastructure that they use on a daily basis. And that delusion is just being fed more and more and more. I do think there is an issue with women. I think social media has made women extremely narcissistic and has given them an extremely a crazy amount of options to choose from when it comes to men, so they start to value men less. I genuinely believe that. So I do think there's definitely something different. That plus given the authority to be able to leave a marriage whenever you want. Yeah.
When he hit on social media, I think he hit the nail on the head, because before, like, when they introduced the government's going to help the black family, or the government's going to help women, like single mothers, with the I can't remember the name of it, the program, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That's how you can tell I didn't come from that type of family. But when the government replaced the black father, they destroyed the black community. When social media came along and made it to where the average woman could interact with like a basketball player or a football player or a star athlete or like a star celebrity, it changed the dating dynamics of the world, because now that girl from down the street who you would have just bumped into and y'all would have hit it off and y'all would have got married, now she has been flown out by a rich basketball player, and he's did what he did, and then he sent her back. Okay, in her mind now, that's her level of man that she can get. And even though she's still a regular girl, because she got flew out to wherever, now that she's back, she can't deal with the dudes in her town anymore, or they're not gonna live up to her standards. That's why I feel like a lot of women have had this unrealistic view of dating and their prospects in the dating marketplace, because it's like the lottery for women. You know, it's like they could roll the dice and get a guy who's rich, is what they think. You know, but it's like they don't understand that the percentages of those guys are very low, and that those guys have the pick of the litter. So if you are gonna compete for one of them, you gotta bring it, and you gotta bring it, because he's getting requests all day long from different women who are right up his alley, you know. And he's smashing them. He's smashing them and getting them out of there, bruh. Smashing them and sending them right back to your city, so for you to deal with her mental problems now, you know. I feel sorry for dudes now, because I got in right before all of that. I got in right at the beginning of that, you know. I found the love of my life early, before that could really take root. It was taking root back then, like, but it was different. It was like college dudes was talking to the girls at our high school. That's how bad it was. It wasn't like famous dudes from across the globe had access to your woman, you know, because the average woman is beautiful. You know, the average woman, like, she's average to me. She's average. She's pretty. You know, I think she should be with some regular dude who's like, you know, some plumber, some you know, whatever. But if she's she's on social media, right, and she's like elevating her physical attractiveness with certain filters and techniques or whatever, and she's, you know, getting work done or whatever, she's trying to look her best for whoever sees her. If if you saw her in public in the wild, you would see her and think she's regular looking, and you'd be like, okay, you look good, and I'm gonna try to talk to you. And you talk to her and you get her number, y'all hit it off. But if you see her on social media, you gonna think, oh wow, you know, this girl, she's got it going on. She's in and out of nice cars. She's always eating at nice places. Her hair's always nice. Her, you know, she looking good. It's like you're gonna think, oh, she's out of my league. But it's like, no, that's a facade. She's looking like that because she's courting people who are above your level. But in real life, if you bumped into her somewhere, you could have got her. You know, it's just, I feel like guys don't even have the drive anymore to even try to risk it to get these girls anymore, because they see, like I'm seeing, they see the girls on these podcasts, they see the girls in real life, they hearing what the girls are saying in real life, they having conversations with them, the girls are giving up their virtue for next to nothing. So it's like, you got, on one hand, you got girls giving up puss. So guys are thinking, why would I buy the cow when I'm getting the milk for free? On the other hand, when the girl's on the podcast and they ask them, like, what type of guy would you want? It's like they want a guy who's rich. They say they want a guy who's rich, tall, and attractive, you know. And it's like, there's not a lot of those guys out there. So but that's not the truth. I don't think that's the truth. I think that's just what they say. You know, like I said, if you bumped into him on the street and you were looking your best that day and you had your game was tight, and you had charisma, you had the riz, you could riz up one of these girls, bruh. A regular guy could riz up one of these girls. It's just that in society, the regular girl has been pedestalized, like he said earlier, to a level that in the eyes of a regular guy, he feels like he can't compete with her. He can't get with her. And it's like, that's not true, bruh. It's just not true. So that's all I wanted to talk to y'all about. Let me get back to the big screen one time. But that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to go check out Poor Man's podcast channel. Check out this lady's channel. I'm gonna check out more of her videos. I really like the time she spent going through and aggregating these reasons for why she thinks so many men have checked out of dating, have given up on dating. It was like, I don't know. When I was younger, I kind of saw it going this way, bruh. It was already going this way. Like, guys were just having sex with girls. They were not committing to them. And it's like the girls were not requiring commitment. So it's like, what do you expect? like I said, if you give him the milk for free, he's not gonna buy the cow. All right, and then if the culture is permissive of like if it's like the hookup culture, then guys are gonna be like, we have an instinctual thing where we know that like if a girl has had a lot of partners, that it's going to be hard for her to commit to one guy, bro. We know that on an instinctual level. That's where the word like hoe and slut and all those type of words come from, bro. So it's like they try to normalize the behavior. They try to shame men for not wanting to date those women, but we know what's going to happen if you try to date one of those girls, bro. It's not going to end good for you. So just be smart out there. I would say focus on yourself. Focus on what you need to do to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. And focus on your riz and focus on your road to glory. Peace, y'all.